What's going on, guys? In today's video, I'm going to show you the best staff and bow build with DPS rotation. You guys are going to be doing the highest damage in dungeons, world bosses, and also in the upcoming 12-man raid. Just look at this boss HP. It's melting like butter while your character is pumping that massive damage on the boss. I'll be showing you guys every single active and passive skills, spell specialization, and also the step-by-step rotation to help you guys do top damage in the game. It's the ultimate spec, so let's get straight into it. Alright, let's get started with the skills here. I'm going to make it easy for you guys to start. You guys can just pause this video and take a screenshot of all these skills and abilities that I have on my hotbar. So I'm going to start with the DPS rotation. I'll tell you all the skills that we need first before I'll later show you on how the real rotation is. So the first one is high focus. It'll increase your cooldown speed by 40% for all skills and increase movement speed by 22% for 12 seconds. You're going to be picking the base damage boost skill specialization, which I'm going to show you later on. Alright, next you're going to be using your bow abilities. Let's start with Deadly Marker, which will have 90% chance to mark the target. This will increase all types of damage, magic, melee, and range critical hit chance by 100% for the entire group. Alright, next you're going to be casting the Hellfire Rain. It has a casting time, but we need this ability so you can get 10 burning stacks. This way, your next ability will do massive damage. Alright, next you want to be casting Focus Fire Bombs. This is an upgraded version from Weapon Specialization, which I'm going to explain to you later on. As I said earlier, with 10 burning stacks, this ability is going to be doing massive damage. As you can see from the tooltip, it'll deal 435% of base damage plus 29, and it'll apply 2 stacks of weakened burning as well. Alright, next you want to be casting Fireball Barrage, which will have an increased damage buff, followed by Judgment Lightning, which is a huge burst, dealing lightning damage. Right after that, you want to be casting Chain Thunder. This is an upgraded skill specialization as well, which I'm going to show you later. It'll put an AoE on the ground, which will damage the target constantly. Next, we're going to be casting Frenzied Lightning Wave, which is another upgraded from skill specialization. So we're going to be doing all of our staff abilities first, and then we're going to be doing the bow ones. Next, you want to be using Strafing, which will fire 4 arrows in a row. We have the Gale specialization as well as consecutive use, which will allow us to cast this ability twice. This ability will apply Bullseye debuff as well on the target, which will increase our longbow skills. Next, with the Bullseye on, we're going to be using Zephyr's Knock, which is our main damage ability. While using bow, we have the damage increase as well as the reduced cooldown, which I'll explain later on in this specialization area. Alright, next we're going to be talking about your utility skills. We have Nature's Blessing. This is your main healing ability. And if you combine this ability with the Inner Peace, it will give you from 0 to full mana in just a couple of seconds, which I'm going to show you later on in the rotation part of this video. But before that, I'm going to tell you something very important. You want to be upgrading your abilities. So right-click any of your abilities, and then you want to be upgrading them. You have to have this growth books, which is categorized under common, rare, and also epic. I believe you can get them from questing, maybe contract, dungeons, and in most of the PVE content in the game. So I'm going to show you an example on how you upgrade your skill. So I'm going to select a random skill here. You just want to keep upgrading until level 6, and then it will turn into another rarity from common to rare, and then you're going to upgrade it 6 more times. It will upgrade from blue to epic. So if you look at my abilities here, the most important skills that you want to upgrade will be your staff abilities, and then followed by the bow ones. You want to try to upgrade all of your abilities to blue level 3 first, and then epic level 3, because at level 3 you'll be upgrading the most of your skill stats. So you guys can pause this video and see which skills that I've upgraded most. Those will be the priority. Alright, now let's talk about passive abilities. The passive abilities that I've chosen, so you can pause and select all the passive abilities that I've chosen. We have the Mana Ball Eruption, which will increase your fire damage and also your base damage. Also, with this passive, you have 105% chance to fire an additional bomb or projectile. They'll deal 5% of your damage. Another fire passive ability to synergize with the other fire passive skill, we have the Flame Condensation, which will increase burning damage over time, and it will increase 10 heavy attack chance per stack of burning. Next, you want to be taking the Asceticism, which will increase your mana regen, especially when you're standing still while DPS. Next, we're gonna be taking Mana Amp, which will increase max mana and also max health. Let's start with the full passive ability, which is called the Distorted Sanctuary. This is a huge passive skill for not just yourself, but the entire party member. It'll increase melee range and magic endurance by 33 and also health recovery over time from skills per party member, including the user within 16-meter radius. Next, we're going to be taking Roxy's Arrow, which you'll have a chance to shoot 2 projectiles this time by using your bow. And then Rapid Fire Stance, which will increase your attack speed for your melee range and also magic. This is another synergy passive skill, which you need to be standing still while DPS. And finally, we have the Forbidden Sanctuary, which will increase your skill damage by 80, but decrease all mana cost efficiency by 15%. Also, don't forget to upgrade all your passive abilities, same like you did for the active skills. Just right click and then upgrade them accordingly. You'll need the passive growth book for this one. Alright, next let's talk about weapon mastery. For your staff weapon mastery, you want to be upgrading the middle one to about half and then go for the bottom one until the end. For your bow weapon mastery, you want to be upgrading the middle one to about half and then go for the bottom one until the end. Alright, finally we talk about the skill specialization before I'm going to show you the real rotation. You can just pause this video and follow all the skills that I picked for the staff and also bow. I'm just going to go through it real quick right here. So for your staff, for the Serial Firebomb, you want to be choosing Focus Firebomb, which will upgrade this ability to deal massive damage. Next, we're going to be choosing Mobility, which will allow us to cast this ability while on the move. And we're also going to be choosing Radius Increase, which is very good for AoE situations. Next, we're going to be upgrading to Frenzied Lightning Wave. If you just want to choose Cooldown, as it will reduce the cooldown by 3 seconds. We're also going to be choosing Consecutive Use, that will help you use this ability 2 times with a 50% chance. Next, we're going to be upgrading this ability to Chain Thunder, which will allow you to put an AoE that will deal damage constantly for 3 seconds. For Fireball Barrage, we're going to be taking Fireball Frenzy, which will add 1 fireball per stack if used against a target you have burned, as well as the reduced cooldown. For High Focus, you want to choose Base Damage Boost, as it will increase your damage while casting this ability, so it's a good starting ability to pop. It's like a trinket. You want to pop it and use all your abilities to burst on your target. Alternatively, you can also get the first specialization for this High Focus. If you want your entire group to have this increased damage effects, you just have to disable all the specialization under Judgment Lightning, which is called Damage Transfer. So for solo play, you want to be choosing this, Damage Transfer. But if you want to focus on your party or group, you want to disable this and get the first skill specialization from the High Focus ability, which is called Expanded Targets. Alright, next, you're going to be upgrading to the Hellfire Rain, which will increase the base damage as well as adds the Weaken Burning debuff. And also, we're going to be getting the Reduced cooldown. So for your bow, we're going to be starting with Damage Increase for Zephyr's Knock. And you want to be also getting the Reduced cooldown so you can spam this main damage ability. Next, for Strafing, you want to be choosing Gale, which will apply this debuff for 6 seconds, explodes on 10th stack, which will inflict damage to nearby enemies. We're also going to be getting the consecutive use, which will allow you to use this ability 2 times. Another thing that I forgot to mention is that you need to upgrade your gear. So be sure to go to your main menu, equipment and enchantment. You want to be upgrading every single gear. You can get these tokens from, I think, doing secret dungeons, all the solo dungeons. Yeah, you do all of them and you'll be able to upgrade most of your equipments right here. And obviously you can get all this epic gear from doing the co-op dungeon as well as world bosses. As for the stats, you want to focus on perception first, followed by strength, and then the rest in dexterity, followed by wisdom the last. You can also check the list of gear and traits, which I'll be updating in the pinned comment section below. Alright, let's start to show you guys the rotation. We're going to be testing it on the 11th floor of the secret dungeon. So we're going to be starting with high focus, followed by Hellfire Rain. This will put 10 stack of burning debuff on the target, as you guys can see right here. This will allow your next ability, which is Focus Fire Bombs, to deal maximum damage. Next, you want to be casting Fireball Barrage, followed by Judgment Lightning, which is another huge burst damage ability, this time doing lightning damage. After that, you want to be casting Chain Thunder, which will apply the AoE on the target, preferably when the target is not moving, followed by Frenzied Lightning Wave. And then you want to be using your bow ability, starting with Strafing, which will apply the bullseye on the target. And after that, you want to be spamming Zephyr's Knock. After that, you want to be using all the abilities that will come out of cooldown first. You want to be prioritizing the Deadly Marker as well as the Hellfire Rain debuff. Then focusing on the high damage attack, which includes Focus Fire Bombs and also Judgment Strike. Also, best if you can stand still during a boss encounter. This is because of your 2 passive abilities, which are the Rapid Fire Stance as well as the Asceticism. To get mana, you have to use your Inner Peace ability, and to get some health, you can use Nature's Blessing. Also, another cool trick that you can use is to use Nature's Blessing first, followed by Inner Peace. This way you can have a way faster mana regeneration, as you guys can see right here. You can get to full mana instantly. So that pretty much wraps up on the Staff and Bow DPS build and rotation. Hope it'll help you guys a lot in dungeons, world bosses, and other content in Throne and Liberty. This is your regular adventurer Kasum. Thank you for watching and peace out.